What's going on, YouTube? This is Boxingwave, fresh off that Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall rematch. I'm going to give you a quick recap. I'm going to give you my scorecards as well. But real quick, overall, the fight was so much better than the first fight. I mean, the first fight was so slow. I mean, Jack, to me, won the fight. But he didn't lead that much in the first fight. He kind of just solely focused on the counters. Josh didn't really get it going until after the knockdown, to me. In the first fight, after the 8th round, he started to be more aggressive, where Jack was a little bit more tired. I still think Jack won the fight, but it wasn't much action. It was a lot more holding. It just wasn't an entertaining fight. Neither one of them looked great. And even though I think Jack won the fight, I didn't like the performance. I didn't really care for the fight itself. But this fight was very, very good. A lot of back and forth. I honestly believe that both fighters improved. Both fighters improved. I think if Josh was as aggressive as he was in this fight earlier on, as he was, if he was this aggressive in this fight, in the first fight, I think he would have had a better chance of winning to the public. You know what I mean? I just think when he started to really put it on Jack Catterall, I think at that time Jack was already tired and it was too late in the fight, and Josh already had got knocked down and stuff. Just my opinion. But this fight, I do believe that both Josh and Jack did better. Josh, more aggressive early. I like the body shots. I think he did better work on the inside and didn't wait so long to get aggressive. At the same time, Jack was way more aggressive in this fight. He did lead. He didn't just rely on the counters. He did lead with shots. He did hurt Josh more in this fight than he did in the first. He just brought the fight straight to Josh. And I like the combinations. I just like the fact that he was willing to really prove that he won. So both fighters actually did better to me. But to me, Jack Catterall fairly won the fight. All right, so as far as my scorecards, round 1, I gave to Jack Catterall. By the way, I didn't go live. Apologize. I just sat here, I chilled, and watched the fight without any distractions. I just wanted to watch, and I knew I was going to get on here and do a quick recap. But round 1, I was on Twitter, though. If I'm not live, I will be on Twitter doing a live review of the fight. So anyway, round 1, Jack Catterall. Round 2, Jack Catterall. Close round. Round 3, Jack Catterall to me. Oh, I'm sorry. Round 3, Josh. Clear round. Big round for Josh in the third. 4, I gave it to Catterall. 5, I gave it to Catterall. 6, I gave it to Catterall. So I have it 5-1 for Catterall so far. 7, I gave to Josh Taylor. 8th, I gave to Josh Taylor. 9th, I edged it for Jack Catterall. 10th, I gave it to Josh Taylor. Right? 11th and 12th, both to Jack Catterall. Now, look, I want to say the 2nd round, the 8th round, and the 9th rounds were the closest rounds to me. All right? The 8th, the 9th, and the 2nd. The 2nd I gave to Jack. I just thought he did barely better in that 2nd round. All right? If you gave it to Josh, cool. No arguments. Cool. The 8th and the 9th rounds. I gave the 8th to Josh. Okay, he picked it up. But Catterall didn't do bad in that round. And the 9th round was... The 8th and 9th rounds might have been the 2 of the best rounds in the fight, to be honest. Okay, I didn't make tweets about that. But the 7th round was a huge round for Josh Taylor. And... the 8th was action-packed back and forth, and the 9th, same thing. All right? Just very, very too good, very good. The fight was so much better. It was so much better. Now, as far as the scorecard officially, I think it was like 2 117, 111s, 116, 113 or something like that. Or 116, was it 116, 111? Something like that. Something where, you have some people, at least from what I've seen on social media, some people don't like the card. All right, they thought the scorecards were too wide. You might even think mine was too wide. Okay, Bob Arum definitely thought it was too wide because he climbed into the ring and decided to scream at, the judges. And he also said, he went as far as saying, I'm not bringing another American boxer back out here, because basically he thought that Josh won the fight. It's a little crazy to me. And that, he was basically implying that he was robbed. All right. No, the robbery was in the first fight where this guy lost the opportunity from being undisputed. And I do think Jack, not a big fan of him. He's a good boxer, clearly. I do think he won both fights. And I definitely respect him now. I am more of a fan of him now after that performance. But it would have been better to me if Jack won the fight, because I think he would have gave T.O. a better fight if they did fight. Because Josh, has officially lost his last two. And I think he lost to Josh Taylor. Jack Catterall fight, So he hasn't looked good since Ramirez, or the fight after Ramirez. I forgot the gentleman's name. But look, what I liked about here is that, Jack leaded more. He brought the fight to Taylor as opposed to the first fight. I like that. Josh did better too. Like I said, he did better too. He came stronger. He was more aggressive. He went to the body more. We seen more hooks from him and combinations on the inside. But he just couldn't be consistent. He'll give you one or two good rounds and then he kind of fall back. And Catterall will push back. There was a time, maybe twice in this fight, where I thought that Jack was getting tired, and I thought Josh was going to take over the fight. And I thought in the 11th round, based on the way I scored it, because I had Jack up 4 rounds or 6 rounds to 4 going into the 11th. And I thought Josh was clearly winning that round. And, Jack went on to land some 2 big shots that hurt Josh a lot. Didn't knock him down, but almost knocked him down, especially in the first punch. And Jack stole around to me, even though Josh was doing a better work. I gave, and some of you might even give Josh that round, but I gave Jack that 11th round, and I thought at that point the fight has slipped away from Josh. I think based on how I scored it, if Josh were to win that 11th round and go on to win the 12th, I would have had it a draw. And some of you might have even had Josh winning if he went on to win those 2 rounds. But I think Josh overall closed the fight out better. I think he was more consistent throughout the fight. I think he landed the more effective punches, and I think he was a busier guy too, which is surprising. Josh did good. I couldn't pick him to win. You guys saw the breakdown. I just couldn't pick him to win. I'm winning. I was rooting for him, but I couldn't pick him to win because I just didn't know what he was capable of at this point in his career. I don't like the fact that he's still fighting at 140. I don't think he looks good. It looks like he's aged very quickly over the last 2 years. I know he had a lot of injuries, and he just hasn't looked good. I didn't think he won the first fight. I just couldn't pick him. But then he had his moments in this fight where I felt like the momentum was changing, and I thought he would come back. But he just couldn't get the job done. My scorecard is too close to the official scorecards for me to scream robbery or anything. Yes, I do believe giving Jack any more than 8 rounds might be a bit too much. But this was a British card with British judges. And, we already know what happened in the first fight. So, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, my scorecard is too close. I had it 160, 112, so. But it was still a very, very competitive fight, and it was a very good fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. Jack, to me, deserves a title shot, especially because I believe he's already been robbed of one. But since he did better in the rematch, and he just looked, this is the best he's ever looked in his career, in my opinion. I think he has earned a title shot. I'm not sure where he's ranked exactly, but I think he deserves an immediate title shot against anyone up there at 140. Anyone. I'm cool with anyone. Right? He deserves one immediately. He's undefeated in my eyes. But, you know, there's still people that believe Josh won the first fight, so that's fair. Officially, he lost. But I think he deserves a title shot, you know, or against a top tier junior welterweight. And as far as Josh, I'm sorry if I'm getting the names confused. Josh, to me, some people is going to say he shot. He may be. You know, he might be. He's definitely past his prime. But he's definitely overextended his stay at 140. I think at the very most right now, I think the best thing for Josh to do is take a tune-up at 147. Take a tune-up at 147. Like a decent fighter at 147. You know, fight a Tomas Delorme. You know, or a guy that is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. I know he's been stopped by Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis. I don't think Josh Taylor is on the level of those two. I think that if Josh cannot beat Delorme or a guy at that level at this point, maybe it's time to hang it up. But at least go to 147. See how you feel. See how your body feels. Not having to drain yourself so much. Your career junior welterweight, you're 33 years old. It's time to make a change. And I think it's worth going to 147, have a fight or two, gain some confidence, and see if you can get a high-ranking fight against a high contender if you're coming off a couple wins at 147. All right? When we say he's washed, it's a possibility that he just may not be good at 140 at this stage. All right? He doesn't look good. Maybe it's time to go to 147 to gain some confidence. I remember Dennis Ugas. I remember he just wasn't that good at 140. He just wasn't good. He was losing to fighters that I thought he would beat. He would beat at 147. When he moved to 147, he was a completely different fighter. Completely different fighter. Much better. So I think it happens. The weight is a factor. Going up there, feeling fresher. You're older, but you're fresher. And getting a couple of fights in there that you could have some confidence and you gain some confidence, and maybe, just maybe, yes, you missed out on the opportunity to get a Terrence Crawford fight and stuff, but stop sticking around at 140. You might have one last run if you are to move up to 147. Just my opinion. All right? So anyway, good fight. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Christian Mbili is going to be on a little later. I'm not going to go live because I think the fight between him and Mark Heffron is probably going to last 2, maybe 3 rounds tops. So I am going to place something on that fight for an early knockout for Christian Mbili. You know, I think Heffron is, you know, a puncher. He's going to come and he's going to want to fight, but I just think he's gonna get stopped like he has been in the past. All right, so anyway, I apologize. Also, I did place a bet today. I should have put it up, but I wasn't super confident, and I don't want you guys to lose money. But I did place a bet on this fight I got plus 155 on Jack Catterall winning on points. All right, I wasn't sure I was gonna do it. I didn't do it on the breakdown video. I did it today, a few hours before the fight. And I won a plus 155 on it. All right. So anyway, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Take care.